that you're here. I am just hanging out in the hammock. Y'all, this is pretty cool. One of my favorite spots here in Puerto Rico. We are here for a very huge mission trip. And, honestly, it's my favorite spot, the Airbnb. We're getting into the swing of things. Okay. Getting into the swing of things. Learning to let things go. Maybe this is our video. So, there's been some really amazing things that have happened and a lot of miracles. But this video is like basically on the concept of letting things go, like let go, let God. Because our minds can't always comprehend why things happen. I feel and also think that part of our suffering, in some cases, scenario, I mean, suffering is a real thing. I'm not at all saying, oh, just let it go and you'll be fine. There's no worries, darling, just let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, truthfully, but not in a false positive way. Okay, so I'm going to give a few examples. So we've been going through some stuff, and it's been a huge change, and part of the reason we're here, and it's making a decision based on intuitive calling, and then asking for confirmation, and then receiving confirmation today of a miracle. And it's like, okay, confirmed. Intuition, logic, connected. Divine relationship grown. Like, beautiful. So I was so inspired about it, and I went to go do a video, and I ended up, doing a video, which may actually have already been posted before this, or I'll post after, I'm not sure yet, because I'm in the midst of it, and we haven't even got to editing. But I was walking down the street just to do kind of like a journal video, but it was a video about how I authentically was feeling, like I was just processing it, and it was very authentic. When I look back at it, it actually made me tear up. It was so authentic and so true, and a little bit more raw, and you've got the camera, it's not in the best angle, and it's not the best whatever, but it was very authentic and very real. And I was on my way to make a video on the water, where the water is so epic. I mean, it's crashing into the rock. It's so beautiful. I bought a microphone today. I had all my plans all planned out. But on the way, I was like, felt inspired to do a video. So I get down, I do this video that at the time I was just processing what had just happened. And I get down to the water, and I'm like, okay, setting it up. I've got the microphone. I'm aimed to be professional here for you and catch this amazing scenery, and then talk about the miracle with the water, because that was my plan, and that's what my mind was thinking was the best. And this is what I mean about choosing not to worry about things or create extra suffering. And I'll get to this concept in just a minute here, if you just follow me for a little bit. So I got it all set up, and granted, just to let you know, this is, sorry, I wasn't sure if there's a car pulling in our driveway, but it's the neighbors. This is right before the sun's going to get down, so I have just enough time to make a video with sunlight. It's been an eventful day with this being on a mission trip and everything. And a mission trip meaning God sent us on a mission and following our intuition, that kind of mission. And, but logic and intuition coming in it. So I was like, oh, this is great. 15-minute video. I really felt like it took it home. My mind was satisfied. I was like, yes, I did it. So my new mic, I went to hit the video to watch it. For some reason, there was no sound. And the one I did before to do a mic check, there was sound. It was fine. You should have seen me. It was the funniest thing. But then I learned about what it really means to let things go, and what it means to not worry. Okay? So, why I remember saying, don't worry about it. It feeds negativity, but we'll go more into that. So, there I was like, no, how do I fix it? This is the video of the day, like, this is the one, like, worrying, like, I missed it. This is my chance to get some time to, you know, there's so many events going on, and go out down and do a video about the events. Now, granted, remember, I did a video on the walk there, okay? But to my mind, it was going to be the one in the water that was the best, okay? So at this time, I'm like panicked. The sun's going down. It's about near dark. So I try to do another video for a minute, and it's just dark, and you can barely see me. And I learned right there, I said, you gotta let this go. The opportunity for, you know, there's no sound, and it's not happening in the dark for another 15-minute video. I mean, you could put on a light or whatever, but with the water and the beautiful sun and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, feeling a little bit like slight bit triggered and upset. I'll say I was slight bit triggered. Now you gotta understand the background scene was epic, okay? So I was feeling really super triggered. So I was like, what can you do about it? It has no sound. The sun is going down. It's time to go back to the house now. And you know, told my mom I'd be back by the time it got dark, and I was like walking as fast as I could, you know, so we could go get dinner and all this stuff. And she ended up drove out to see if I need, you know, if I was okay if I needed a ride, just because it's a new area and stuff like that, and make sure, you know, I said I'd be back before dark. So I was just like, wow, I forgot how long of a walk this was. Because remember, I made a video on the way there that was authentic, but my mind said, this is just you know, authentic feelings, but we're gonna go do a video with the amazing scenery, okay? And then I realized, I gotta let this go. This is creating suffering. I'm getting upset. Like this, you can just go tomorrow, and you're here a few more days. You can always get, okay. Our minds will plan something, right? Or we ourselves will plan something, and we think it's an amazing plan, right? Everything sets up, ready to go. But something intercepts or just basically creates something else within what we thought we were going to do, right? So the plan shifts. And I'm having a hard time finding the word for this, but it essentially comes down to, like, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. Basically, we make plans, but God has plans. So sometimes our plans get changed for God's plans, okay? Especially when we're open to that. We're like, God, your will be done, okay? I say that a lot. So I stepped back and I was like, why am I so upset about this? Maybe there's something we're not seeing. And that's the part I'm going to get to letting go. We create these plans and they change. Like, oh, it was supposed to be like this, but I planned it to be like that. But I wanted to have this degree, but I wanted this job, but I wanted to have this, but I planned to have that. What really happened? And I won't go into my friend or like people's stories that during the Virginia trip that were like, oh, but I was supposed to do this, and I hear that a lot, and I have said that before. So we all do it. But it's like, but what actually happened? That might have been what was supposed to happen if you look at a new perspective. So you step back and you say, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let it go. And that doesn't mean false positivity. Someone is like, oh my gosh, someone's dying and I'm really stressed. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry. Just be happy. Just don't worry. And that might come off of that person as you're pushing them off or you don't care. And maybe a false positive statement, don't worry, means I don't want to have to take on anything about what you're authentically feeling. I just want to be in the everything's blissed out. Everything's blissed out. But, oh, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And it also could be that that person doesn't even have connection to their deepest feelings, and they just choose to stay at a place where they just don't care, you know. And I'm not talking about that not worry. I'm talking about where we really actually clear our minds of worry so that we can elevate our consciousness and connect to God's plan. Okay, God's plans. That's all I'm saying when I say let go and choose not to worry. So a lot of this is God's plan, and a lot we've been hearing, oh, we were concerned about such and such, or we were worried about. Don't worry. Don't worry. And it actually panned out. Like what we thought, what was brought up to be concerned about was nothing to be concerned about. But it seemed pretty reasonable or natural that you would be concerned about that particular thing because it's a new adjustment for someone else, or it's unfamiliar. We're learning to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. So of course there's going to be some concerns, but as we let them go, we can start to see, authentically, when this person's saying don't worry, they're actually caring. They're actually saying, oh, we're going to take care of that kind of stuff. That's not for you to worry about. With authentic, logical plus spiritual connection where it actually isn't to be worried about. And then there's times when we create so much stuff in our minds. So we're like, oh, this could happen and that could happen. You may actually attract that stuff, and I'm just saying that, and it's just my opinion. But we may actually attract these things by worrying about them. So it's best to maybe step back and say, what can I learn from this? Like today, I was like, what am I not seeing? What can I learn from this experience? And it took me a minute. I was a little triggered. And I was like, God, and I put my hands on the ground, praised God. I was like, what can I learn from this? Also, like, how can I serve you? Like, what am I missing here? What am I not seeing? Because I'm feeling really triggered. And then I was also rushing to get back. And my mom picked me up. I told her kind of what happened. I was like, look, it's a great video. It's got no sound. And of course my mind's like, will you have enough time? Will you have enough time to get all the amazing spiritual epic transformations that are happening? Will you have enough time to get them all in the video to share with people? First of all, why am I even worried about that? If it's meant to be shared, it will be shared. Okay, so I stepped back and I was like, maybe it's not to be shared. And then I thought, and I talked to my mom, and so our appointment's tomorrow at like 11. Because we have a multitude of things that we have to do and arrange and get set up in this short period of time. And I stepped back and I was like, what's wrong with getting up early and going down, it's a mile walk, not even maybe, to the beach? Why don't you just go tomorrow and redo it? Maybe like it wasn't meant for you to do that tonight, because maybe you actually subconsciously were feeling a bit rushed to catch the sunlight. So maybe it's actually going to be better if you go in the morning on a fresh, clear mind and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. I'll be able to let that go then, because now I'm not worried about the morning time, and, I'm not worried about the video that didn't have sound. I was like, wait a minute, you're not leaving tonight. Just take a deep breath and relax. So I was telling myself, I was like, I need to let this go, which was helping me immensely. So, and then I talked, this is great inspiration when I went with my mom to the grocery store for a video. So there are a lot of things that don't happen the way that we think they're supposed to happen. Again, that's coming from the mind. When we can take a step back and we can let that mental, if it's not, it's not peaceful, like you're like, oh, I was so upset. This was supposed to happen, we're not seeing clear that in that state. I just know it because I just went through it. I was not feeling centered. So I had to step back because I was like, I'm not feeling centered. And you become more aware of that. You start to notice, you start to feel like internally, like I'm off a little bit, I'm missing something. So when we surrender and we ask, divine spirit, our higher selves, whatever, Jesus, God, angels, to show us what we can't see, then we're willing to let go and let God. Then we're like, hey God, I don't mentally understand this. Could you help me out here, please? And what can I do to help you to better achieve a victory in this moment? So I walked it off. I was sweating. I was just like, fine, I'm walking as fast as I can to get back to my mom. And then I learned to let that go and let God. And so then I was like, oh, this is great for a video. And not in a false positive way. I mean in a truly authentic, like surrendering your plans for God's plans kind of way. And choosing not to worry about the things that you don't understand. And trusting God will reveal what you need to know. That kind of thing. Like instead of feeding negativity, looking for the solution by going to the highest intelligent ability. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to find answers that are high vibrational in a low vibrational place, step back and say, okay, would you raise up my mind to the place, to this high vibration? And in doing that, I was able to let it go, and I was like, okay, done, I'll do a video tomorrow. And then I thought, oh, you know what, I'll do a video tonight. And then I thought, whatever flows. So I started to get tired after dinner, and I was like, not tonight, I was just doing it in the morning. However, the energy started to flow for some reason. I decided to go watch the video that, and this is the point I'm getting to, where in just a short time, within a few hours, I saw what I couldn't see before. And so I went back and I watched the video, which may have already been posted before this, or is posting sometime. And I was like, I was moved to tears when I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so authentic. I could feel it. As an outside perspective, I was just like, all right, let's just see, you know, let's just watch this video and see what comes up. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is the video for this topic, not at the beach. This is not the beach topic. And I realized, like, walking the path is the point of that video, like walking the spiritual path and seeing miracles. So I realized that walking the streets, I mean, it wasn't like the best, but that was the best authentic video for what I was conveying. And that I didn't see when I was trying to get the scenes of the beach. My mind was like, you got to make it the most beautiful ever with the beach. However, I get my time. You'll see a video soon on the water. And if not, it's because God wanted something else, and I'm totally okay with that. This is where I'm at. So I thought, what a great video to do, letting go and letting God with the hammock. Because there's nothing like letting go when you stay in a hammock, right? Like, this is totally relaxing, you know? This is completely chill. And I don't want to get too relaxed on you, I might just fall asleep out here. But this is, like, absolutely relaxing. And this has been one of my favorite spots, really, for real. So I'm trying to save the video, but you let go, you surrender, and you flow with it, okay? So what I say, getting into the swing of things. So when we let go of our mental distress and trying to figure it out from the mind, and God bless it, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. And then, or like overly from the heart, where we're not having enough logic to understand either, because we're just feeling it, or we're just thinking it. There's just not a very good balance there. But when we can bring those two together, like I was able to feel it, like I feel like I really want to express this, and I'm thinking this is the way that I would want to express it, but as I'm stepping back, my logic's like, you're stressing about this a little much, you're getting really triggered, you have a choice here. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna let this go. And then I saw the video, and I was like, I had already done the video before I walked to the water. I just didn't know that in my mind, because my mind was determined to do it the way my mind wanted to do it. But to get in the swing of things is to let go of our mind's control and swing into God's flow. That's beautiful. I love that. Alright, so I'm going to leave it on that note. Many blessings from here in Puerto Rico, flowing in the hammock. And yeah, so let go, let God. I mean, that would be my greatest thing here, to say, like, not my greatest thing, my greatest, the greatest message I could possibly convey to you right now, after that, because things happen for a reason, and we may not fully understand them, but when we flow with God, God lets us know in every now and moment what is best. And when we surrender to that moment, open-hearted, open mind, open, a surrender soul to God, God flow, then we can see miracles, then we can understand things better, then we seek to understand and become understood, and then, we just witness so much amazing stuff and swing right into the flow of God. So I'm so grateful to be flowing with God now and not in mental distress. Thank God for that. And I hope that inspires you to do the same. So thank you so much for joining this channel here today and linking on this video. And we wish you many blessings. If you like this video, please feel free to hit like. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, we'd love to have you. If you'd like to leave a comment, we'd love to hear all about it. So thank you again. Many blessings. Namaste.